In a hotel, a guest is talking to a maid and he tells her, I need another sheet. And the maid says, do you really need another sheet or another sheet? What's the problem? The problem is that shit and sheet are very different, right? When you say shit, something that doesn't smell very well, right? And that comes from your bottom. And when you say sheet, you mean the piece of cloth that you use to wrap yourself on the bed, right? Consequently, as you can see, pronunciation counts and is very important sometimes. For this reason, we are going to check the difference between the different vowels, how to pronounce them, the main knowledge you should know in order to manage. All right, so let's now go to our session 10, pronunciation of vowels. And before going, let me remind you of your likes, your comments, your suggestions that are very valuable in this channel and are always very, very welcome. So continue sharing them with us. And now let's go to our power presentation session 10. Let's go. All right. So here we are in our session 10, alphabet pronunciation. In this case, we're going to deal with the vowels, as I already told you, the logo of the channel. And I forgot to tell you that this time we are broadcasting from Krakow, the beautiful market place or market square in Krakow in Poland, right? Where a lot of people come just to see this beautiful city. And of course, many of them speak English, right? Particularly if they are tourists. So let's have a look. But first of all, I remind you that when we have a practice to correct, we start by correcting the practice of the previous session to continue with the new content in this session, right? So let's now go to the practice sessions 8 and 9, adjectives of quantity. Does your family have much, a lot of, or lots of time for leisure? We are talking about leisure that, as you know, is uncountable. Consequently, you have to use much, or you can also use a lot of or lots that can go both with countables and uncountables, right? My girlfriend works with many or lots of people in her office. In this case, we're talking about people, which is always countable in English and plural. Be careful, right? Because people is the same as saying persons in English, right? For this reason, it's countable, and you have to use a countable adjective of quantity, as in this case, many, right? Many are lots of people, because lots of, as I've already told you, can go both with countable and uncountable nouns. Call the plumber if your sister makes a lot of or lots of noise. If your sister makes a lot of or lots of noise, noise is uncountable for this reason, and it's a positive sentence. For this reason, you have to use a lot of or lots of. You cannot use much, because much can only go with interrogative sentences or negatives, right? So the only option left in an affirmative sentence is a lot of or lots of. I earn enough money to cover household expenses. Enough is more than it is necessary, right? So he can do it, he can cover household expenses at no trouble, because he earned enough money, which is more than it is necessary, right? When you have few reasons to support an argument, you don't convince others. Few reasons is negative, is less than what is required, right? Consequently, when you have few reasons, you cannot convince anyone, because they are really very, very, very few, very little quantity. When you have a few reasons to support an argument, you convince others. This is the same sentence as the one before, but in this case, the sense changes. Why? Because when you say a few is more than few. Consequently, a few is positive and few is negative, right? Consequently, if you have a few reasons, you can convince others, as the sentence says, right? We are 4 at home, but there is space for 2 more people, so we have plenty of space. Plenty of space is more than enough, more than what is needed. And then the online practice, agendaweb.org, mansionenglish.com. This is a reminder, right? And the reminder of the dictionary online, just for you to know. Let's now continue with the pronunciation of vowels. First of all, sound A. Sound A, the main pronunciation of this sound A could be A and E. Well, first of all, let's concentrate on A. Made, wait, play, age, great, great. And the other sound, A and E, is middle sounds between A and E, right? So, mud, pun, hurt, kirsch, hers. Let's now go with the sound of E. The sound of E has two main sounds, E with a colon, that is a long sound, E, and E, which is short, right? Meet, least, we, key, see, as you can see, is a long sound, right? And on the other hand, men, head, set, death, shelf, set, met. Very short, as you can see. Sound of E. E can have two main sounds, right? I and E. Let's have a look. I, buy, type, quite, why, wide, flight. And E, very short, pick, will, sit, kid, pick, fish. Sound of O can have two main sounds, O and E. O is not exactly O, right? It's intermediate between O and A. O. O and E. O, boat, coast, bowl, toe, toast, comb. Like want, it's between A and O, right? Want, look, rub, good, dug, dull, rock. As you can see, wants to be an A, but remains in an O, rug, right? You start with O and finish with A, right? Sounds of U. It has three sounds, as you can see. A, an open A, close U, and a long U. Now let's have a look at the examples. An open A, shut, much, lack, blood, does. A close U, look, pull, good, food, wolf, wood. And a long U, full, rude, boot, soup, shoe, new, shoot. And here is an image with more examples of the pronunciation of the vowels, right? A, E, I, O, U. Short sound apple, cat, long sound cake, bake, short sound yet, net, long sound feed, leave, and so on, right? You have a look at them, try to pronounce them, practice with them, right? And now we're going to continue with pronunciation of vowels before the letter R, right? Words ending in R or after A, and then R, right? And before a consonant or silent E, the sounds are A, without the pronunciation of R. You can also say R, depends if it's British English or US English, right? In British English, we say ah, we don't pronounce the R. If it's US English, then we say R, the R sounds. And yeah, if it's British, or air, if it's US, right? Let's have a look. British English, no R, but in North American English the R is strongly pronounced, as I have just said. Examples: or R, fa or far, ba or bar, hard or heart, march or march, card or card, staff or starve, harm or harm, start or start, car or car. In the case of veer, veer or veer, veer or veer, right? Share or share, stairs or stairs, square or square, where's where's, fair fair, where, and care care. Words ending in er is the same thing. In British English, we pronounce a long a without pronouncing the r. In North American English, the ending is in er, and the r is strongly pronounced. Tower, tower, flower, flower, after, teacher, teacher, lawyer, lawyer, offer, offer, baker, baker, singer, singer, water, water. In US English, the T in the middle of a word becomes an R, so water. All right, so you have it in brackets. UST becomes an R also, right, in the middle of a word. And some more examples here, as you can see, ending in ER. Manager, manager, writer, writer, and so on, right? And that's all for now, folks. If you have enjoyed, if you have taken advantage of this season, I would like you to sign up this channel, right? So if you like this channel, sign up, become a part of our great family. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you next week. Enjoy your week, enjoy your weekend. Bye bye.